did a lot of good for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
It was a bucket list for me. You know,
Bucket list for a lot of us. All right, guys, it is day 22, and we are back at Phoenix for the final day of Death Week. The one, the only Death Week. If you were not here, you missed the freaking incredible journey. Like, I mean, insane. We were out for 2 days replacing an engine, but like, just the scenery and stuff and the stories people tell, which you'll hear a lot about in the video. Like, I mean, just literally bucket list stuff that we got to get accomplished. But racing's going to end today. Everybody's going to go out there. We're going to make passes, and then we're going to crown the overall winner, which if Jason makes a good pass, I think that he's going to lock this thing up. But where the real fight is for the top tourist, because people have detoured hundreds of miles. One guy went to the fucking Space Needle, like, as part of the trip. Added another 2,000 miles or some crap like that to the trip to the Space Needle. Yes, Seattle, Washington. Yes, there is stuff so out of the way that people have done. It's awesome. It is exactly what hoped for, is that like, hey, let's get a bunch of car guys together and yep, we're going to go down the track. But this is really about the fucking adventure. And boy, have we had a fucking adventure. Everybody here, hardcore. Like, a snowflake would never have made it on this trip. So, but there is, I don't even know how many cars are left. I don't think we lost that many. Is the other crazy part of it, is most of the people are here, and like, people just keep telling me stories about their journey and the stuff they've saw, and like, that they lived in these areas and have never seen the stuff that they saw this week. Like, that's what it's all about. But we're gonna get hopefully a good pass in the Durango. It's got a good engine in it. We're not too sure about the blower right now. We'll know if it makes any boost on the pass, and finish this thing up. We gotta load it, get to SEMA. So there you go. On to the racing, on to everything else. And hey, who's gonna win the top tourist? Give us your pick before the end of the video.
Beginning the week, we were saying it was the best cooling car ever that we own, and that it would have no problem. Drive one, it was hot as hell. By day, whatever, we cracked the block. We're like, oh, that was the whole cooling issue, throw a new one in. Expecting it to run perfectly fine. Make the drive to the track from Whirler Up's house, and it was still pretty hot. So now we really don't even know. Like, we know the fans are only running at half power. Don't really know why, but based on amps they're pulling, they're only running at half power. So that's like sitting in traffic while it gets hot, but still on the expressway. After you're going like 30, the fans aren't really doing anything. So, and it's still running kind of hot there. So we really don't know at this point. We put a heat exchanger on there. We don't know if that's affecting it. The tanks are there. The hot air has to go somewhere. Well, you have two tanks right behind it. They can't really go anywhere. And then we have the heat exchanger at the bottom. So now you're blocking the top of the fans and the bottom of the fans, one way or the other. So we only had to stop because the car was heating up once, I think, on the side of the road. We stopped, let it cool down a little bit. Other than that, it was fine. Oh, one of the trans fans went out, and so they tied together. So both trans fans went out. So that made it like 200 degrees, the trans, so that made it 200 degrees inside. So we stopped for that, unplugged the fan that went out, and just kept the one plugged in, and that's been running fine. But we had to stop because we were hot a couple of times, but the car, we only had to stop once.
this is a bucket list item for me. My first one, 62 years old. Got to do it with a really good friend I haven't seen in 10 years. It was an amazing experience. I'm hooked.
I'm hopefully just kind of go up and make a 550 or a 560. I don't think I can catch Jason, and I don't think 3 can catch me as long as nobody has a really bad day. So go up and hopefully make one clean pass, and then we'll probably start packing up because we've still got to turn around and head back to Vegas tonight.
This is 325, and we're at 400 in the groove.
Yeah.
You're supposed to pull it 3 times in the same spot, and each time the number gets more. So I just take my lowest denominator, it was the 400, I know that the track is good. If we're at 325, I need to do a little something.
Second place, so we were happy with that. We were happy that we got here and then made it all the way through the week. That's a long week, that's a long journey, but we had a good time doing it. So today was okay. We were kind of fighting some traction troubles. The first pass up, we spun the tires pretty hard and went like a 580 at 136, so good mile an hour, but just no ET there. So we lined up, cooled the car off, lined up for another one, and that one was a 561 at 135, right around there. So that was good enough, so we handed that pass in. I'm not able to catch Jason, and third wasn't able to catch me. So at that point, we were just kind of playing it conservative, and we got to get back to Vegas tonight because we're headed to SEMA tomorrow, and then after the week in SEMA, then we got to drive all the way home. So we're still 1,500 miles to get home. So we didn't want to push it too hard here today. So
is this car on display at SEMA?
Yes, we're going to be in the Factory 5 racing booth there. So the good thing is we're also right next to McGuire's. So when I get there and my junk is all dirty, I'm going to go over there and be like, hey guys, look at this tire smear down the side. You got to help me out. So it's almost a blur now. We got 9 days, and they're all big days. I mean, it was really cool to, we seen everything. We traveled all the way up the all the way up the west coast there. We've never been over there. I mean, it was really neat to see the Mexico border wall. That was pretty cool to see. And then that nice travel all the way up the Pacific Coast Highway. We spent some time in the city there, which is a little challenging on the left foot, pushing that clutch in all day, but once we got back to the coast and were able to cruise, it was sure worth it. And then we traveled through the Sequoias. I mean, that was absolutely gorgeous. Really nice view, but I'll be adding power steering to my fix-it list when I get home because my arms were awfully sore by the time we got through that one. So after the Sequoias, thankfully Death Valley was open enough that we were able to get through there. There was only a few construction zones and a few patches of bad highway that we had to navigate, but we made it all the way through Death Valley, which was super cool, scenic in its own way. Really gorgeous climbs through there, like kind of a barren desert land, but super cool. So made it all the way through there, and I don't know what else did we do. Where else were we after that?
Vegas?
Yeah. Spent the day in Vegas. So we went out, toured the dam, went down to the power station, did a tour there. And then went to Steve Darnell's house. Did a little bit of welding on the camper. You guys somehow managed to catch me there. I didn't think anybody was going to be there to see that mess, but welded the pound hard bar back on because the Sequoias, I think, really pushed that to its limits, weaving in and out of those mountain roads. So. But yeah, cruised the strip there for a while, and then we had a real nice cruise down yesterday. Stopped at the Grand Canyon, did the tour, and then just a nice scenic drive through the I can't remember what that they call there's a little tree forest. Yeah, the Joshua Tree Forest. That's what it is. So yeah, those were pretty cool too. I've never been in a forest. It's only 10 feet tall, but there we were. So. And then, just a nice pass here today. So after some awards and a little celebration, then we'll head back to Vegas.
If I can run a 0, then I'll make up for the other track day, and then it'll be a 5. Yeah. So, good luck.
What's the track look like?
Looks all right. We'll see. We'll see when we go up there. Put on the 2-step, it was making 2 more pounds of boost than last time on the 2-step, so hopefully that's telling us that maybe we're a little better, but we'll see. Give it a whirl.
made 23 pounds of boost, and we should be making 26. So I don't know.
Went down. I mean, it was, our fastest pass of the week, but not where we want to be with it. So made a couple more pounds of boost at the launch, but it's still, it only made 23 down track. So we want that to be around 26 plus. So we still got some stuff to sort out, but I'd say we finished, but we did finish even though we were disqualified for a couple day hiatus. But
no skull for you.
So no skull for me, but it's good to have it back together and running and going down the track, I guess. But we'll lace it up, see if we can do better or whatever. But at the same point, if we're only making 23 pounds boost, we can't do much more with that. That's the only pulley we have, and there's some noise in the Supercharger, so we don't know if that's the culprit or we don't know.
They always say it's life-changing. They always say, oh, you're going to talk about this forever. We've already started talking about that. We've already started talking about the next one. We're going, damn it. We're going to change this. We're going to change that. Anton and I, we race together. We know each other at the track. We see each other for a day every 6 months, and that's how we know each other. Now, oh my God, I will donate a kidney to this man. You know, it's a blending. And then these people that, have to admit, don't know any of them. I know them all now, damn it. I'm going to weddings, I'm going to Christmas parties. We all know each other now. And when you get back, it is such a relief. For me personally, okay, we just went up and did that pass. I'm like, we got to do one pass and we're done. I don't care what it runs. I just want to go down the damn track and get it over with. The moment I took off, there was this gink sound. I heard something and I freaked out like, no. And it was still going. So I grabbed the next gear. I was like, it's still going. Grabbed the next gear. And then I looked down as my phone fell off my little parcel tray. Scared the crap out of me. But we made it. It's how do you say, it's an addicting abuse. I've gotten used to the abuse. That I want more of the abuse now. Okay, so if you haven't done stuff like this, you're gonna yearn it after you've done it. I've done trips like this, done lots of long distance traveling drives and stuff like that. Longer ones actually than this. Boy, this is grueling. For us, it's just stressful. It was a lot of not planning. It was more of, hey, you wanna go do this? Yeah, let's do it. This will be easy. Oh my God. And all the repair work we've done, and then the last thing you think about is how fast the car is, honestly. I mean, a lot of these guys, they got to run fast. They got something to live up to. I just wanted to make it. After the transmission broke, I'm like, I just want to make it. 99.9% is making the trip. That 0.1%, you're worried about how fast the car is. I don't care. At this point, I was just like, I wanted to make it. And here's the other thing. We still got to drive 377 miles. We got to get this car home. Because my truck broke down 2 days before we left to come here, and it's at the transmission shop and it's supposed to be done. It's not done. It's still not done. I've come to find out. Otherwise, a buddy of mine was going to drive it over here. So we're loading up. We're driving home. We got to go from Arizona back to SoCal. So our race is not done. So yeah, and then I have him getting me washers right now because we got it's a Volkswagen. They drip here and there. You know, they mark their territory.
I've heard about that.
Did you know that if a Volkswagen stops dripping, it means it's out of oil? But this thing, breathing that, you know, I love Penn grade oil, but burning it and breathing it the whole time, it freaking reeks. And we're driving with our vent wings open, even though it was freezing cold last night, because we wanted fresh air to come into the car so we wouldn't smell the oil the whole time. And yeah, that was it's an adventure. Every day we got 10 stories to tell, and we joked around that we're gonna be like 70 years old. Remember that time we drove 45,000 miles? The engine, we took it out 15 times. What are you talking about? It was 17 times. We already are starting to do that. It's gonna happen. We already know it. So.
At Bakersfield, we checked to see what actually happened. At a second and a half out, it spiked to 38 pounds of boost. The motor wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for it. It popped. We pulled the heads off the following day, and it blew the heads, the Camaraderie gaskets on 2 and 4. We pulled the driver's side apart. It blew the head, but it didn't burn the Camaraderie gasket. So we were like, all right, we'll just throw a set of heads on it. And nobody had anything, so I got a hold of my son. I asked him if I could pull the heads off his truck, because he has a running, driving truck. So we pulled the heads off of that, put the heads on it, then we found out, okay, my intake's not gonna fit these heads because they're ported. So now we've got a stock intake on it. We go to put my carburetor on it. When it blew, it broke the center base of the carburetor in half, so we have to run his carburetor, which is just a 600 CFM. Got it all together. It runs decent. The bottom end is still the original bottom end on it. It's just a quest to finish. I mean, we couldn't make all the stops because there was no way with the time and everything like that. We were an hour and a half away from being here, and the U-bolt caps that hold the drive shaft into the third member came loose. So now we were on the side of the road trying to tighten that back up, limped it in. Told them I'm going to be on the radial side, and they're all scratching their head like, why? Because I didn't even have time to change the tires. Made a pass. We're done. Keith Turk was the one who said, hey, you could do it. And I'm like, ah. So he like called me out, so I got it done. But you can see it's definitely multicolor now. The radiator, it ballooned the tanks. It ballooned the cores by about 2.5 inches, because when it blew the head gasket, all the boost went into the cooling system and it just exploded everything. The radiator's compromised. That's why I didn't screw around on the track, because it's like I'm not ruining anyone else's day. If this ever goes on again, yeah, I'd be the first guy to sign up. I mean, just we do it for the quest, the try and finish, everything. I mean, we just live for the car stuff. It was a misfortune what happened. Didn't see it coming. It's cars. So, but other than that, we're good. We made it.
It's been a crazy week. We've gone all over this part of the country. We went to the Sequoias and drifted around mountains and almost crashed the dang truck, but you know, whatever. Then we lost a third member and put another third member in, and that third member was trash. And then we bought another one off Craigslist, and that one was trash. And then we took them, all three of them, to a guy and got two back. And one went back into Joe's car and one went back into my truck. And then we found out the trans is gone, so we had to drive all the way from Vegas, in gear a mile, out of gear a mile, in gear a mile, out of gear a mile. So now we still have 200 miles to get home, but we'll get there. This thing is so awesome, you know. It's bringing back the life of drag racing, and it's just, thank you guys for putting this on. Me and Joe have literally been dreaming about this stuff on the West Coast, and it's a shame that, you know, there's not a lot of other people that are brave enough to do this kind of stuff. We're envious of you guys on the rest of the country, because it seems like there's more camaraderie and more gumption to do this stuff. On the West Coast, everybody talks about it, but nobody does it. It sucks, you know. It's like Tom Bailey said, there were 71 of us that started, and a vast majority of them are from the rest of the country. You know, it should be more people from the West Coast trying to keep up with everybody else, but it is what it is.
Well, I heard a bunch of internet talk trying to scare everybody out of coming.
That's bullshit, you know. We've driven the whole time, and one guy got pulled over that we know of, and he didn't even get a ticket. So what's the point of that, you know? I mean, yes, we've been scared multiple times because we've been chased down by cops. But they usually come up to the car and they realize it's just a bunch of kids trying to figure out their lives and go for, you know, have a good time. So it'd be better for them to be doing this kind of stuff than out robbing banks and, you know, setting places on fire. So life is short, go have fun.
Really good week, really good time here. We get to come out with our best friends. We each brought a kid with. We're just from Nebraska. We don't get out to the West Coast much, so it's nice to get out, see the views, see the sights. Really fun time.
What happened to the kids on the last day?
We shipped them out this morning. They had to fly home. They got to go back to school Monday, so they're gone.
You think you taught him some good things or bad things?
All good things.
It's just a challenge, you know. Life's challenging, but you need to do something like this just to see if you can do it. I mean, that's where it just comes down to. I mean, the experience was cool. I mean, the scenery was amazing. I mean, I was telling my son, you know, put your phone down, look out the window. I mean, there's chances we're never going to see this again. I mean, all the places. I know I won't. He might, but you know, that aspect of it with just the scenery was cool, and not really so much drag racing. You know, competition, you know, I mean, you know, a lot of times other competitions, you know, I got to shave 2/10 off, I got to change this, change that to get faster in my bracket class or something. This one is just really just survive, you know. It really, you pulling in here, I made a little video. It was just kind of surreal that, you know, that I can make it 2,300 miles in a 73 Torino with a 521 stroker that had battled me all week, you know. Had problems in Oceanside, California, but after that, I mean, it just kind of just went down the road. And the other thing, well, I found one thing out. You just got to stay out of the casino. I mean, I think one night I went to bed at 5:30 in the morning, and we woke up at 6:30, and it was a pretty rough next day. But I was winning, man.
Death Week was amazing, man. Some awesome scenery. I got to experience some really cool stuff with the family, kids. It was an adventure for sure. Being able to take these race cars through some of that stuff was just amazing. You're never going to be able to get to do that stuff again. So it was really cool. Hopefully we can finish up with the top 10 place, maybe, and hopefully run some mid-sixes. Be happy with it and get it finished. That's all it was about for this trip. Get that skull. I survived Death Week, baby.
More than just the racing. It was more about just coming out, you know, on vacation basically, and going and seeing all the places that you'd schedule a trip to one place, but you wouldn't hit as many places you normally on Death Week. So it was more about the adventure than the racing for us.
And how did the truck perform?
Oh, it did awesome. The only thing we had to change was an O2 sensor the first day, and it just knocked it out the rest of the week. I mean, no issues.
Well, it was a lot of fun. It was just a fun adventure with a lot of driving, seeing a lot of cool stuff, hanging around with a bunch of die-hard drag and drive people, making some passes down the drag strip. It was just a fun adventure. I really enjoyed it.
Other than breaking that one rocker on the first day, it's been just been a lot of maintenance, but smooth sailing. We've done everything except for the Skyway on the Grand Canyon, but it's been awesome to see everything. It's been really awesome. It's been nice to cruise around a little bit more relaxed. But on the car, I think it's a little harder with doing like 1,900 miles, I think we did. So it's been a little harder on the car, but everything seems to be going well, and we're enjoying it though, getting some sleep on this one compared to the other drag and drives I've done. And it's nice. It was nice to go down to the beaches and everything, Grand Canyon, Sequoias Forest. That tree is huge. That tree is huge.
The whole trip was amazing, meeting good people, drag racing, seeing parts of the country you never seen. We never forget this. It's a 94 F-150. I have a Crown Victoria front suspension, got the Crown Vic engine. This nice little cruiser, and things been no problems the whole week, thank God. Like it's been a great truck and been good to us.
It's been awesome. Absolutely loved it. It's kind of a normal route for us being from this area, but to do all of it at one time in one of the old cars has been absolutely amazing. Meet some new people along the way, friends that actually live near us too, so it's been awesome. Part of it too is the being out in the middle of the nowhere so much. This course in particular, from everything else that normally sick weeks are, this has got a lot of driving distance with nothing. A lot of the desert, there's nothing for miles. So yeah, we've stopped I think 3 or 4 different times to help people along. So late night, every night we've had to travel. But it's been awesome.
Yesterday we had another rough day. Bottomed out on a cattle guard, and we hit hard enough that like we should probably pull over and check, and sure enough, oil pouring out. The back corner of the oil pan had a nice hole in it, so got another ride from somebody and head back down the road a little ways to another group of race cars, and luckily somebody had JB Weld, so yeah, I got back, got it all cleaned up, JB welded, let it set for a good half an hour, 45 minutes. Put oil in it, she didn't leak, so we got back on the road. It was pretty much a long day of driving after that. We got in pretty late, about 10 o'clock. It was great. Everybody here is rooting for everybody else, and everybody, if they can lend a helping hand, they do. It's just, it's a real good camaraderie. Sights were cool. I'm from California, and I've seen a lot of stuff that I've never heard of or never been to, like the Morro Rock. I mean, I guess I've heard of that one, but never been there. That was a beautiful place.
As far as rocks go, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one.
It's been amazing. I had to leave on Wednesday night and drive to Washington for 2 jobs. So I was going to drive home, get the work truck, but that was an 8-hour additional trip. So I decided to take the 50-year-old car that 2 months ago was in a cornfield. Drove it an additional 3,000 miles and got back to the hotel at 1 a.m. this morning.
Were you the one that went to the Space Needle?
Yes. Yes, I tagged the Needle. I drove 2,800 miles in 70 hours, 65 hours, something like that. I don't even know. I think I slept 5 hours Thursday night at the hotel, 3 hours at a rest stop Wednesday night after Formoso, and then Friday night, Saturday, I slept 2 hours in a rest stop in Oregon somewhere. Other than that, I was driving. Car did great. I'm having a blast. I love this event. I love the community, the people, everything about it.
And tell us about your hot rod.
It is a 1973 AMC Hornet Sportabout Gucci edition. When I got it, had 72,000 original miles. Been sitting for upwards of 5 years in a cornfield in Iowa. Drug it home, rusted out brake lines, didn't run. Tinkered with it for a month, got it to duct tape drags in October. Test drive scared me. Brakes were awful, went back after duct tape. Fixed the drums as best I could. It's got 4-wheel drums and manual brakes. Fixed it as best I could, tuned it up, rebuilt the carb, and drove it here. And it's done 5,000 miles.
Death Week was actually a really good event. I did it with my dad, and I saw a bunch of places I hadn't seen before, like the Grand Canyon, the Sequoias. I'd been to Death Valley before, but never driven through it, and we did it all in my car, so.
Death Week was great, absolutely phenomenal event put on by Tom and the rest of the family of Sick the Mag. Came along and did it with the wife Claire for the first time. So we've done a few drag and drive events, but followed it like the Sick Ward event, and then so we decided this time we'd rent a car, because obviously you haven't got a race car over here. So we rented this Shelby Mustang from Hertz. So we got the Hertz Edition 350 GT. It did all right. We got a 812, pretty good for a rental. The drive was breathtaking. Grand Canyon, driving through the trees in the forest, Amona Forest, that was absolutely unbelievable as well. You know, absolutely breathtaking part of America.
Death Week has been the coolest drag and drive we've been a part of. It's way more of a intimate group where everyone just kind of gets to know everyone. It's not as big of an event, and everyone's just trying to help each other out. Like we were over on the side of the road helping out Rich Guido with some rear end stuff, and you hear lots of stories about that. That's common to a lot of drag and drives, but this one felt like a lot more just with the miles. Like we rolled in today at a little over 2,060 miles on the car since we left. So it's definitely a lot more than the 1,000 miles that we've done on other events. The things we've seen, you know, even just starting with the drive that we had down from Canada, we rolled through Utah and got to start off with that. And then we leave Phoenix and through the desert, and it's 104 degrees, 105 degrees. And that was cool. And then we crossed the mountains and we thought, oh, first mountain climb. And then we come down and over towards the ocean, and then just up the whole coast, driving through some of the fancy parts of Southern California, setting off car alarms. Maybe some people didn't like it, but a lot of other ones did. So that was super cool to be a part of. And from there was more mountains, going to check out the sequoias. And then those twisty roads through there. And then by the time we leave the track at Verona and stay up in more central California, we had another twisty road over to Arizona. Like we joked about it, we're kind of tired of our ears popping. I don't know if you guys are dealing with that, but it didn't stop. We were constantly popping ears. 6,000 feet at times, 4,000 feet climbs, like, and Death Valley, I think, hands down, was probably the coolest one that we got to do. And we got lucky, it was not so hot, and seeing even just some of the flood damage, it was unfortunate that kind of hampered the route, but we went anyway. Luckily it wasn't too bad with our low front bumper, but yeah, that was super cool. And then back through Vegas, driving the Vegas Strip with everyone was an awesome time. I'm sure, again, kind of like Southern California, not everyone loved it, but there was a lot of people that did, getting thumbs up and all that. That was an awesome experience. I think we're nearing the end of the growth in the wagon. We talked about it after this event. We might do a torque converter. We're down in the low 7s now. We ran our fastest ever with the car today, 7.3. We started the event at a 7.75, and we've just been chipping away, going faster every track. So thanks to Danny and some slow-mo footage, we were tweaking the suspension and getting it dialed in. But I think the last one is the converter, and then from there we might build another car for some of these events, because it's just, I don't want to ruin how comfortable it is. Like there's a lot of guys that struggle out here with heat and all that, and we've got air conditioned seats, so the 105 in the desert was hot when we got out of the car, but in the car was great.
The week's been awesome. I mean, it was killer. I kind of was hesitant to do it just because how long the event was, but I mean, we got to see everything. I mean, everything a car guy wanted to see. Drive up PCH, do the sequoias. You got to drive through the mountains. You got to drive on the interstate. It was just a great week. It was killer all the way through. I'm glad I didn't miss it, honestly. Yes, it wasn't really a drag racing drag and drive, but it was a great adventure. It was a great drive. I mean, that's more of what this was. It wasn't about how fast you could be. It was just enjoy the week. Yeah, I appreciate the sick crew. I mean, they put on a great event. The plan, I'm going to put the Supercharger back on it that I tried to put on it before the week, and put that back on it and turn it into a nice driver, and I think I'm going to build a race car and bring it out. So
sick week?
Possibly not sick week. That's a little early for that one. This one might come back out for sick week if I get on the wait list, but yeah, it'll be a more race car than this one ever thought of being. So.
An opportunity of a lifetime to be with like-minded, halfway insane human beings that we are, traveling areas that most people don't get to do in their lifetime, and we did it in 8 to 10 days from what I remember. From Grand Canyon, I'd never been. Unbelievable views. Went up on the sky view, looked down 4,000 feet. Can't even explain it to anybody how it is. You have to go see it yourself. To the Sequoia National Forest. I've never done 180 switchbacks in one day, and we did it in about 4 hours. And to tell you, it was nothing. It was something. It was terrifying at times. Hands were sweaty. We were feeling a little ill just because we went 7,000 feet elevation with switchbacks. But sights that were unexplainable, unimaginable to see. Probably that was more than likely my favorite stop would have been going through the Sequoia. I've never been through LA, never been through traffic like that. I'm from Montana, so we don't have anything like that. That was a whole nother monkey for me to deal with. But I think we blended in fairly well. We didn't have any catastrophes. You guys missed a trip of a lifetime, but I think they're gonna probably find some more cool trips like this to do for us. But don't miss out on the next one, because this was unimaginable. I handed my time slip into Tanya and Jenny, and I was going through my pictures and I was like, oh, I forgot we went to that spot. So yeah, pretty incredible, unbelievable people, made a lot of new friends.
Never seen the ocean?
I had never seen the Pacific Ocean. I forgot about that. Yes, thank you. Got to see the Pacific Ocean. Got to stick my toes in the sand and have the water splash all over me. It was awesome.
If that's going away.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. I think I turned in a 550, but that was good enough. So I was just out here making passes, and when we go home it's gonna be cold, so might as well enjoy the weather. And that's it. First day was a one and done. We turned in like a 540 something, 542 I think it was. And then next stop was Verona, and we struggled. I think we made 9 passes, and I don't remember what we turned in. I think it was like a 67 or something. But Bakersfield was awesome. The track was good. We made a couple passes there, but that was like a 38. I think we turned in 538, and today we turned in a 550. So we made a bunch of passes. It was a good time. A lot of driving. Saw a lot of stuff. A lot of checkpoints. But yeah. We wouldn't come out to this part of the country if it wasn't for this event, so it's pretty cool to get to see everything out of the window of a hot rod and do all those miles and with your buddies. And Grand Canyon was awesome, Hoover Dam was awesome, the whole California coastline I was pretty surprised was actually pretty cool. But yeah, it was good.
Man, this week has been a ride. We went 2,500 miles in the Cheval. We had a couple problems with the rear end not holding together, but as an amateur, it was a really good learning experience, and I'm really thankful for all the friends I made, and I'm definitely coming back out next year. I can't wait, and yeah, we'll see if we can bring something a little stronger next year. Now, we know what to expect. We couldn't really believe what we got ourselves into. I mean, we came here kind of nervous, didn't really know anyone. We're trying to find people to come with and just couldn't convince anyone to take on this challenge. And you know, we got here and we felt like we found people that had the same kind of attitude that we did, and really, I mean, we never felt like the car community that we've been at home, that stuff is for us. But you know, the scrappiness and the ingenuity here is just something that we haven't really found before. And yeah, we definitely want to continue building on this drag and drive thing. So yeah. So you know how everyone comes back from the military and they're saying like, oh man, this camaraderie. I love the camaraderie. That's really, you know, you get 2 weeks of that here on drag and drive. That's really what you're starting to build, is the camaraderie of everyone having the same goal, trying to figure out how to do it, and everyone just has to get back home, and we're all working towards the same goal. That's what makes drag and drive special. It pushes you, and most people don't get that, especially in today's society. You know, it's all about just relaxing and figuring out how to watch more YouTube or watch whatever. Here, you can get out and do it. At the end of it, it sure feels like you actually learned something, as opposed to just going and relaxing for a week. You can come and actually accomplish something and have the satisfaction of doing it.
What an adventure it was. A lot of different landscape. It was really cool going from ocean to sequoias, down to Death Valley, looking at all that, Furnace Creek. It's crazy beautiful in California. I don't know why it gets such a bad rap, really. It's a beautiful state. Has some problems, but I mean, it was a great trip. It was really a great trip. I'd do it again probably next year for, what is it, the 66, I think it is, the 666 or whatever it is. Be pretty interesting to see what that's going to be. So we've enjoyed it. We came down through, went to the Grand Canyon, of course, Hoover Dam, did all that. We came down through Lake Havasu and Parker because we're local to there. Stopped at the shop. We developed a fuel leak outside of, well, we got to Havasu, we were out of fuel from the Grand Canyon. We're like, man, that's terrible mileage. It's like 6 miles a gallon. Pulled into the shop at the house to check it out, and there's fuel dripping out of the fuel tank. The top lid, the fuel tank was pressurized and pushing fuel out of the lid. So got a new fuel pump together, put that in yesterday, put the bed on this morning, loaded up, left some stuff at home luckily, and then headed this way.
Spun the tire right at the hit, so here's what it is. We knew we couldn't have any more on the top end, so they went and added some stuff to the low end, just see if we get to 60 foot better. But like I said, spun the tire off the line. So that's it. Time's winding down, so time to party.
Death Week was awesome. It was incredible. Saw a lot of things that I probably would have never thought about seeing. Made me realize I need to see some more things out there. We finished. We didn't break. We didn't have any major problems. Did a lot of sightseeing. Met a lot of nice people, including yourself, and just had a really good time with my sisters, and we just ran the roads. There's not much else to it. Anybody that didn't do it, don't miss next year's, because this was an event that it's sad it's over. And just got to thank Richards from Richards Auto Parts in New Baltimore, Bob Miller, Kim Miller for letting me hang out and tag along, Tom Bailey for putting it on, all you guys at SICK for everything you do. It was awesome. You guys put on a hell of an event. And that's about all there is, I guess.
There wasn't nearly the pressure that some of the drag and drive events put on you. The pace was, even though it was a high pace to put all these miles on, it wasn't a high pace to turn around and race and meet your numbers and goals in that respect, which for some people maybe that's not as good, but I think the group that was here really embraced it, and I think it was really a good time. It was a lot more relaxed in that respect, and I think the mindset of just about everybody here, it was really tuned into it, and that's why they did it. I think that you'll probably see more events that are more casual like this in the future, and some events might become more race oriented, and that's good because it just proves that there's room for both of them in the market. And man, what a good time. Good scenery, good people, lots and lots of tacos every day. You can never have too many tacos, and that was a good thing for me. I got to go back through a place I used to live, Carlsbad, California, Oceanside. Got to see a couple people, old friends. All in all, just really happy. Great scenery, great cars. My car did fine, other than a couple little leaks and things like that. Got it all worked out. Just a great time. I don't know what else to say. It's hard to put it in words. Next week I'll probably be depressed and wishing I was still on the road. But well, I'll just have to go to my phone and look at all the pictures because I've got hundreds. So it's gonna be hard next week. Going way back, 2011 was the first one I did, Hot Rod Drag Week. I think we started that year in Topeka, and it was hot. I didn't have an overdrive, new to it, should have been a high 10-second car, and immediately got humbled and just learned a lot that first year. And as I've gone along, I've just kind of turned it more into fun, which some of the diehard racers don't agree with that. I do like seeing all the fast street cars, but there's room for the slow guys like me. I think with all the events now, it's a great time to be doing this because, man, there's so many options. So.
Death Week was it was wild. It was beautiful. Just seeing everything was great. Drag racing at all of these places was great. They're dream tracks to race at, and we hit all of them in one shot pretty much. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that part about it. And it just, the people, everyone coming together, everyone was very helpful for everyone. People stopped everywhere. Every town we went to, we met new people and made new friends, and it was a really good time. I'd definitely come back. I will definitely do more drag and drives in the future. I'm not sure which ones I'll do. I like the ones that are out in the middle of nowhere with good scenery, and the drives. I like the drives to be interesting. I like the drag racing part, but I like the challenge in between more so than that part even. So I like mixing it together. It's a nice kind of in-between event, and it worked out really nicely. Vegas was a good time, a couple burnouts and a couple different things all over the place, and didn't get pulled over in California. That was the most interesting part of all of it. somehow drove down Laguna Beach, drove everywhere, no problems. So I will not complain about that one bit at all.
Death Week is about perseverance, testing yourself, at least for myself, and just making the best of what you have. By no means is this the nicest car, the fanciest car, but to me, it's the world. I built this car when I was 18, 19, and it's gotten me all the way to this point, doing cool shit with cool people, and it's just a blast. And to see the being my first drag and drive event, to see the community, how people will go to great lengths to try to help you or even just support you, and just all the love from people at the racetrack and even online. Thank you all for enjoying the car as much as I do. It really boosts your spirit and picks you up and just makes you feel like I'm out here doing this obviously for my own personal interest and for fun, but when everybody else gets involved in it and they love the car so much, it just kind of validates what you're doing in your heart and soul. And it's just it's overall, there's no explaining it until you've done stuff like this. You can watch all these videos all you want, but until you come out here and actually do it, it's never going to be the same. So get out there and do it.
Death Week is about doing something really stupid that's a real challenge, which makes it a lot of fun. Because when you're done, you make it back, you did something.
This isn't just a walk in the park.
Go ahead.
First event I did was 2013 was Drag Week, and Drag Week is a thrash. Like, there's no doubt about it. You have to race and drive every day, and it's a true test of, you know, what you can put you and your pit crew, especially if he's, you know, in his 80s through. So yeah, I mean, drag week's a really, you know, it's a brutal test to see, you know, how fast you can go and if you can survive, and there's not much chance. If you have a failure, you're in trouble pretty quick. Here, this one was, I mean, this really was about family and camaraderie, and you know, lots of time to socialize. And I mean, the sights were amazing. Like, cruising the Vegas Strip was hot, but got some good pictures. But the Grand Canyon, the Sequoia Forest, like, everything was just fantastic. Like, all of us cruising together, I mean, it's like hot rod power tour in, you know, a fantastic location, and then you get beat up on them. I mean, Rovic making 25 passes. You can't do that kind of thing at Drag Week or at some of these other events. Like, even Sick Week, you know, you get 350 cars, and even though the drives are short and Tom likes to make it so that there's more social time, we're drag racers, so we beat up on the cars as much as we can, stay longer, drive late. But this one was really unique. You know, 9 days long, only 4 days of racing, and just fantastic drives. Personally, you know, my performance on the track was not where I wanted it to be. I would have liked to have run 5s all week, but at the same time, you're 1,000 miles into the trip. By then I'm 2,600 miles into my trip, and so I've still got 1,700 miles to drive home. But it's been fantastic. Really appreciate, you know, Tom, his creativity, Luke, and your whole team for everything that you guys did to put this on for us. Because I know, you know, with 70 people, I don't think it's not a big money-making adventure, but it was a hell of an adventure for sure. I mean, we all appreciate it. It was awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 34, 5, 26, yeah, 26 I think is what it is. A few license passes in there, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, I'm tired. Need a beer.
What were you aiming for, and what did you end up with?
I was aiming for a 640, and the best I did was a 641. So I wanted to go with 640 with a 9 or something, just to say I did, and it was just always on the edge. Or when it would hook really well, it would go 630s. So it's not that the car couldn't go there. I kept slowing it down, and when I'd get really close to it, it would spin a little bit out of the hole. It needs a lot of suspension work. I don't have lots of adjustability. So just splitting the hairs, and but I got a 641 is what I handed in, and did, I guess, 3 qualifying license passes that I can hand in. This 640 I'm shooting for is because that's what I'm stuck at for what I'm certified the car and me having a license. So I have to do so many runs progressively, short pass, and then to the 8th mile, and then into the quarter mile, because I want to run quarter mile. That's faster than 9.99, faster than 10 seconds. And you have to have people around. The track has to be a certified NHRA track. They sign off on it, and then other drivers who have a NHRA license already, they can sign off on it. And I have to have 6 of them. So I did my 3 others today, so I have all 6, and I can submit it to the NHRA and get a license, and then let the car run faster than 9.99, which it does quite easily. And it's easier to run it full out than to try to slow it down to a 10.00 all the time. It's easier to let it run 9.94. It doesn't go that much quicker, but enough.
So it'll be 850s now?
850 cert, yeah. And the car it'll run in the 990s, high 9s for now until the next motor setup, which is planned, and hopefully that'll go low 9s, high 8s in a couple of years. So we went through Death Valley, through Sequoia, the Ocean Pacific Route Highway, I guess it's called, Highway 1. All of those are awesome routes to go take your hot rod, which normally you wouldn't do on a vacation. And on top of it, you get to go race at a track, and tracks that I've never been at, and except, you know, I've been there to see NHRA, but not my own car to go race at. So it's opportunities you don't get to see. You get to go do all these awesome drives, hang out with more people you don't get to meet, because now there's more West Coast people that don't go out east for drag and drives. So met a lot of great people, and the weather's fantastic. Just awesome.
We'll see you in Florida in February.
That's the plan. Hopefully, if everything still lines up good and I get the car ready for it, yeah, we'll be in Florida for Sick Week, and hopefully running 9s this time and not 10-0.
Rovic, you're our hero.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming out.
We stopped at 100 different places, not counting food, sleep, and gas. So, you know, that's 9 days. That's what, 12 of them a day or so. I mean, we went everywhere from recreating the 2-lane blacktop tire changing scene to the USS Midway, to we did the Sequoias with everybody in Death Valley with everybody, where I got this super sweet $280 ticket for one of the pictures I took, which I think is also the biggest ticket that's been handed out on this thing. So I'm a grossly, ridiculously competitive person, and while I knew that I couldn't come and take top ET, once there was a tourism award, I was like, we're getting that. I don't know what it's going to take, but I know what we're going to do for it. We were just talking, and we're never doing it this way ever again. This was
until the next time. Until next time.
This was triple the driving of any other drag and drive I've ever done. Drag week, sick week, any of them. It was so much. We did 270 miles inside LA and Long Beach alone.
700 miles.
What's do you have a grand tally on miles?
I think we're just under 3,000. This 28,370 miles is in the last 5.5 months on this truck. That's since I bought the truck, and it'll be over 30,000 by the time I get home.
He is your official Death Week champion, making the trip from New York with an LS-powered single-turbo 1980 model Malibu. Put your hands together for Jason Rousseau.
I got a big ass head.
Woohoo! Yes!
So the winner of the top tours, which, like I said, we're gonna have to do like a top 3 or top 5, like for whatever 666 next year. But so the overall winner, the Williams family.
Oh, everything's like that.
It's perfect.